Stevie Nicks, the mystical queen of rock, has always been an enigma. We've heard her sing of love, loss, and longing, but have we ever truly known the woman behind the lyrics? Now, at 76, she's finally opening up about the man who was the true love of her life. Who was he? And why has she kept him hidden for so long? This video will forever change the way we understand her timeless songs. Stevie Nicks, the woman behind the legend. Stevie Nicks, whose full name is Stephanie Lynn Nicks, was born on May 26, 1948 in Phoenix, Arizona. She is one of the most legendary icons of rock and roll. From a young girl who loved music to one of the most celebrated musical artists in the world, Ariana has had to endure and overcome many challenges to get to where she is today, not forgetting the aura she has created around her over the years. Stevie was raised in a family that traveled often because of her father's job, and she had music as her companion. Her first influence was her grandfather, a country singer. She began singing the duets with him at age 4. At the age of 14, she was writing songs and playing in bands. But it was when she met Lindsey Buckingham during her high school years in California that her musical career started to really form. Their love affair and their musical collaboration resulted in the formation of the band Buckingham Nicks, which produced an album in 1973. It was not commercially successful, but it was enough to get the attention of Mick Fleetwood, who later invited Lindsey Buckingham and Christine McVie to join Fleetwood Mac in 1975. Stevie Nicks's joining Fleetwood Mac was decisive in her and the band's careers. Her vocal style and songwriting skills were unique, which added a new dimension to the group. Her otherworldly voice and introspective lyrics were featured in songs such as Rhiannon, Landslide, and Dreams. The last one was the band's sole song to reach the Billboard Hot 100 chart and is still one of their most recognized songs. Thus, Nicks' impact on Fleetwood Mac can be described as significant. Her lyrics were mostly about love, loss, and the occult, giving the band's music a touch of passion and melancholy. The relationship between her, Buckingham, and the rest of the band members, especially during the recording of the Rumors album, increased the tension and drama that surrounded Fleetwood Mac, making them one of the most exciting bands of the 1970s. Although Fleetwood Mac made her famous, Stevie Nicks' solo career endeared her to rock enthusiasts. Her first solo album, Belladonna, released in 1981, became a chart topper and included songs like Edge of 17 and Leather and Lace. Her subsequent albums also included elements of rock, folk, and mystical elements, and she is duly christened the Queen of Rock. Nicks's look has always been as arresting as her voice. Famous for her shawls, boots, and layers of lace, she created an image of a free spirit and a fairy simultaneously. This well-chosen image and her tendency to write lyrics about love, the loss of a loved one, and the supernatural made her mysterious. People not only listened to her music, but they also followed her as the mysterious woman that she was. Stevie Nicks has continued to be an object of interest during her singing career, mainly because of the aura she has maintained over the years. It seems she has always maintained some aspects of her life secret while only sharing a few things about herself to keep her fans interested. She's known to write about her personal life and her relationships, but she hardly ever comes out to explain the songs she sings, leaving it to the listeners to draw their own conclusions. In a world where people's lives are exposed, Nicks has remained mysterious, making her famous even to this generation. She represents rock and roll with a hint of magical realism. Therefore, she is an icon whose impact is as relevant to the current generation as it was in the past. Stevie Nicks is known as the Queen of Rock. She has impacted the music industry. Her contribution is not only in the songs she has written and sung, but also in the character she built, a powerful and fragile witch who still enchants people. The Mystery Man. Who was he? The man Stevie is talking about isn't some random guy who was part of the rock scene for a few years. He is Lindsey Buckingham, her former collaborator and band member in Fleetwood Mac. If you are a fan, then you know they have one of the most exciting backstories out there. They produced some of the best music together, and it was evident that they had a professional and personal connection. But while we all knew they had a history, Stevie's recent revelation shows just how much in love she was with Lindsay. Stevie was unlike any other person Lindsay could have dated. He was her boyfriend. He was a man who knew her in a way that few others could ever really know her. Their chemistry was sizzling. They were creative partners and lovers. But no matter how complicated things became, and they were complicated quite frequently, there was always something that could not remain untouched. How did they meet? The history of Stevie and Lindsay started in the late 1960s when they both attended high school in Palo Alto, California. It was not a love story at first meeting, but the two were to fall in love with each other. They did not meet again for a few years when they were trying to make a breakthrough in the music industry. That is when chemistry started to develop. They were not friends anymore, but rather business partners in the most general sense of the term. They both formed a band called Buckingham Nicks, and in 1973 recorded an album that, although it did not sell many copies, was enough to catch Mick Fleetwood's eye. It was in Fleetwood Mac that the two met, and their love affair was one of the most famous in the history of rock and roll. At that time, they were inseparable, as they were with the best of friends during their youthful age. One could feel their love for each other through the tracks they produced. Songs like Rhiannon and Landslide were great songs and symbolized their relationship. People could sense the effort and passion that the singers invested in the songs. But as the fame grew, so did the pressure on the couple to stay together and remain a couple. This is because Stevie and Lindsay had chemistry as friends, lovers, and musicians. Stevie has many times referred to Lindsay as her musical partner, and this is not difficult to comprehend. The two had a good working relationship which made them compete on who was more creative. Lindsay's guitar and production skills were perfect for Stevie's spooky voice and heartfelt poetic lyrics. This was not a simple love story as people would wish to assume, but rather a very complicated one. It was passionate and intense, and it was not without its stormy moments. But that is what made their music so special and effective. This is not to mean that songs such as Go Your Own Way and Silver Springs were not about a breakup. They were about their breakup. When they sang those songs, it was possible to notice the love between them. However, the love between them, the pressures of stardom, the duties that came with being in Fleetwood Mac, and other problems they had to overcome made them split. The creation of the Rumors album, one of the band's most successful albums, was on the backdrop of the breakup of their love affair. But instead of doing this musically, they invested all this energy into the album and created some of the greatest songs in their lives. Stevie and Lindsay broke up but continued working together, so their relationship was not solely romantic. It was not just a love story between two people. It was based on their love for music, and that bond that is very rare to find with someone. In the wake of Stevie's revelation, one can say that Lindsay Buckingham was not only in Lindsay's story, but he was the story. It is a love story, a creative story, and a tragic story that only enhances the music that they produced. It is a very basic and clear message that teaches that every song has a tale, and at times, the tale is even more important than the song. Stevie Nicks' music has always been very personal, and it truly reflects her life, emotions, and relationships. However, one relationship defines her music, and that is her romantic involvement with Lindsay Buckingham. The passionate, intense, and painful love affair inspired some of Stevie's most popular songs. Now let us look at how this complex relationship affected the music we all love. Love and music intertwined. Stevie and Lindsay felt the spark the first time they met each other and knew they would be good friends. It was not just the love being shared, but the construction of something with the other person. Cooperation at personal and business levels is quite rare. For Stevie, it was part of her music. Their love was not only felt but written, sung, and acted on stages worldwide during the ups and downs of their relationship. Let's take the song Rhiannon, which became one of Stevie's most popular hits. It is not about Lindsay in particular, but the song was made during the period when they were just getting to know each other, and both were full of ideas. The dreamlike quality of Rhiannon was since Stevie felt that she and Lindsay were soulmates, fated to be together even if they were not always content together. If you want to know how Stevie and Lindsay's relationship affected her music, there is only one place to turn: the songs. Stevie's lyrics are like a diary, and in many of her songs, one can hear the notes of her love for Lindsay and the pain she felt. One of the most touching examples is Silver Springs. This song was recorded for the Rumors album, but it was not included in the album's final track list because the band thought that the album was too long. But later, it was released and became one of the most beloved songs by fans. In it, she sings of love, the absence of love, desire, and the bitterness of a relationship that was never going to be. The words, "Time cast a spell on you, but you won't forget me. I know I could have loved you, but you would not let me," are the words that depict her stand concerning Lindsay. They were not an official couple anymore, but they still had feelings for each other, and this song depicts them. Another song describing their love story is Dreams, one of the few Fleetwood Mac songs that topped the Billboard Hot 100 chart. This song was recorded during the time of recording the Rumors album, which was a very tumultuous period in their relationship. Dreams is Stevie's song about the dissolution of their partnership. The line, "Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only love you when they're playing," means that their love is hot, but not true love. It is a song that can be related to the happy and sad times the two had together as a couple. The next song is Landslide, which is one of the most intimate songs Stevie has ever composed. While it is not only about Lindsay, it was made in one of the most self-reflective phases of Stevie's life when she contemplated her life and career. The words, "I've been afraid of changing 'cause I built my life around you," prove that Stevie was afraid of change and did not know what to do with Lindsay anymore. It is a song about change and the fact that everything in this world changes, including love. This is why Stevie's music is a true testimony of love and her broken heart with Lindsay. It was never smooth sailing between the two. They loved each other intensely and hurt each other intensely. This is why her songs are so realistic, the ability to see both sides of the story. She did not only sing about love, but also about love in its real sense and not only its positive side. Another song written by Lindsay is Go Your Own Way, which is also a product of their turbulent relationship. While Lindsay wrote the song from his perspective, Stevie is present throughout the song. The passion and energy in the song are real because both of them were heartbroken at the time of recording it. Even though they were no longer an item, their creativity in music making was still able to produce music that affected the lives of millions. It was not only in the lyrics of the songs, but also in how Stevie performed them. Whenever she sang Silver Springs or Dreams, one could clearly see the pain in her eyes. This was so real that it was as if she was reliving the moments all over again and singing out of her emotions. This is why her music is still popular to this very day. It is accurate and has not lost its appeal. Thus, fans are sure to hear a real story and not just a song the singer performs. Fleetwood Mac is no longer a band, but Stevie and Lindsay's love is for eternity, or at least in the songs. The songs that they composed during their togetherness are songs of lost love and lost dreams. This is why Stevie is a true icon. She can turn her life into a play, which is suitable for all of us. Challenges and heartbreak, why it didn't last. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham's love affair was one of the most tumultuous ones. It had its share of passion, excitement, drama, and pain. The two were a great team when it came to creating, but their love life was at a whole new level. They loved each other very much, and there was great chemistry between them, but they did not have a happy ending. So, what went wrong? The pressure of fame was one of the biggest hurdles they had to overcome. Stevie and Lindsay both found themselves in Fleetwood Mac, but not without the issues that accompany such an opportunity. They could not handle the pressure of constant touring, recording, and media attention on their union. The pressures of being in one of the most popular bands in the world were enormous, and the pressure did not ease up. When you are on the stage, any discussion and emotional scene is amplified, which is quite tense. The other major conflict was what they wanted to create. Although Stevie and Lindsay were two-of-a-kind musicians, they were not of one mind regarding their creativity. Some of the band's most popular songs were recorded during the Rumors album, but the sessions were far from smooth. Stevie and Lindsay wrote about their heartbreaks, which also meant that they brought their issues into the band's creation process. What came out of it was some of the best music, but also a lot of stress and conflict. Other factors that influenced their relationship include personal issues. Stevie and Lindsay were motivated to succeed and had their fair share of struggles and self-doubt. Stevie has also not been shy to discuss her issues with substance abuse and the effect it had on her and her relationships. Lindsay, too, had his problems and stress with which he had to cope, and the expectations that were put on him. These personal problems did not make work more accessible, and most of the time we argued or misunderstood each other. Ultimately, factors such as fame, conflict in creativity, and personal issues proved fatal for the couple. I think their separation was not only about their love, it was about the fact that two people with different lives tried to stay together in very difficult conditions. The professional cooperation was also affected, and the once happy couple turned into unhappy partners. This was the time when Stevie decided to leave her husband, and it could be considered the turning point in the story. On one hand, it was tragic. She lost the man who was her lover and her business partner. On the other hand, it also signified a period of growth for her, which was incredible in the truest sense of the term. Stevie turned her pain and heartbreak into her music, which made some of her best and most heartfelt songs. The breakup was painful, but did not hinder Stevie from moving forward in her life. She was able to maintain her success as a solo artist and with the Fleetwood Mac Band. This is why she is a legend. She can turn her life issues into great music. Despite the heartbreak in her music, Stevie's strength and talent were evident, which showed that she could move on. Life after love, Stevie's journey forward. Divorce with Lindsay was a new phase in Stevie Nicks' life when she had to build a new life and a new career. Thus, how did she go on and remain bright? The first thing that Stevie did after the breakup was to concentrate on her own career. Her first solo album was The Belladonna, released in 1981, which was well appreciated. Some of the songs in the album were Edge of 17 and Leather and Lace, and this made Stevie Nicks to become a successful solo artist. This was seen in Belladonna, where she proved to everybody that she could do it on her own and that she did not need Lindsay to do it. However, Stevie did not disappear from the public limelight for long and ensured that he continued to be in the news. Her songs continued to be liked by the fans, and she was an influential personality in rock music. She released other albums and continued to be active in the music scene. Her performances, as usual, were as good as before, and she kept adding more to her persona as a rock star. In subsequent interviews, Stevie claimed that her affair with Lindsay influenced her attitude toward love and marriage. She has often described herself as how their love was a blessing and a test. It was a good lesson for her, as for everyone. She learned a lot about herself and about the man she should select. It was a bad phase, but she said it was good because she learned a lot of lessons about what it takes to build a strong relationship. Stevie's confession. Why now? At 76, Stevie Nicks has chosen to reveal something deeply personal. She realized that Lindsey Buckingham was the man she loved. So, why now? To many, it seems the time for Stevie to tell them this truth could not be any better. This confession appears as the final act of her character's life devoted to music and memories. Thus, Stevie not only gets to give a proper ending to a major storyline in her life, but also allows her fans to get closer to her than they have ever been before. The consequence of this revelation is very significant. It enhances people's perception of her and gives them a chance to know her real self, apart from that of the singer. The fans and the public have had a cocktail of appreciation and nostalgia over the show. Some are inspired by the exposure Stevie has given, while others are wondering how this admission changes their view of her biggest hits. This is rather a bitter truth. Every person has a past, and it includes the rock stars who produce such powerful music. Stevie and Lindsay's love story was always a part of fans' curiosity, and therefore it became a part of pop culture. Their love-hate relationship and how it impacted the band and the music that they made have inspired many artists and many tales. The fact that people are still interested in their relationship is proof of the importance of their love story in the music industry and how people can become interested in someone's life. Stevie is able to tell Lindsay that she was her great love, and the fans get to see the two make up, which gives them a feeling of closure. This only adds a new perspective to her music and persona, and one wonders what actual life experiences led to her hit songs. This revelation not only helps the fans understand her work even deeper, but also allows Stevie to find the purpose in her most valuable experiences. As Stevie Nicks opens up about her deepest feelings, her heartfelt confession adds a new chapter to her legacy. For more captivating stories, click on the video popping up on your screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe.